Okay, so now that I'm actually all set, I'm gonna unbox and build this female warrior of the sun. I've actually gotten these before, but I like the new packaging. The new packaging is actually pretty cool. I love that they don't have to worry about individual art cards anymore, so you get the packaging with the art inside. It's a little smaller than normal, actually, but you know it's manageable. So yeah, in the box we get our miniature, of course. She's not too detailed, but there are a lot of finicky bits you might have to worry about. So that's why over there I include that photo. But the art is actually really nice. Alright. And I actually don't know where to put her on in terms of a base. Like a custom base. So I'll probably put her on the regular one. So, oh, that's interesting. I didn't notice that. The newer bases have these little perforations. I wonder what they changed in the creation process. But anyway. Put all that stuff over here. Let's get working. So hopefully the two cameras will give you an idea of exactly what I'm doing. So with most of these, there are going to be mold lines. Like this one actually has one. There's one right around the middle, right here. So I'm going to actually have to scrape that, but I have to be really gentle because there are folds in this fabric. So if I don't make myself careful, I'll ruin the design here. It's actually a really nice design, but it's good to kind of turn it around. See if I can get this focus a little better. Not that. There we go. So now you can kind of see there's this mold line right down the middle. Yeah, there it is. Mold line right down the middle. So that's what I'm trying to clean up right now. So I'm probably going to do that with most of these, kind of think of it. So. You might be able to drill a hole, but I don't see why you would, Selenoth. I'm still trying to. My hands are so dry. Yeah, I can't really think of anything particular to use because if you could drill a hole, then you might as well just drill a hole rather than drill a hole. Use that. All those do is give you a pilot hole. It's not a bad thing. It's just I wonder why. All right, so right now I'm just cleaning out. It looks like the piece here was actually from the mold, so that can come off. Looks like these are something she's carrying. Yep, and I turned it around this way too, and I can still see that mold line. As long as you don't dig too far in. Now this razor blade is it's actually pretty dull, so I use it for scraping. There we go. So as I'm turning it around, I'm kind of catching the light to where I can see that mold line. Maybe we'll see. We'll see in a second, Selenoth, whether or not this leg is the reason. But the problem is it's textured. The base is textured to help with that. And this side is mostly to adhere to the inside. Like, oh, see, like I said, it's got to be some part of the creation process because you can see the same holes on the actual bottom of the base. Because this is just the insert. So we'll see. All right, I'm turning it on the other side. Hopefully it's good on the other side as well. But we'll see. I still got paint all over my hands. I washed them good, but I'm still in super glue and... Alright. Well, now I'm going to look at her. It looks like she has her hair tied up, which is nice. Little bows in it. It's actually a really pretty miniature. Hey, Mars. Ooh, wow. Yep, there is a... You rarely see this with Kingdom Death miniatures, but if you look right there, there are two little holes. Those are actually bubbles. You rarely ever see that with King of Death minis, but sometimes you do. So right now I'm getting rid of the flash from the inside of this part here. And then I'm going to go through and actually clean up the mold line. And make sure to be able to, I've done this before, you can scrape off enough to even out that hole, but otherwise I've got some gap fill I can use. So there's a little peg at the bottom of this cloth I'm going to cut off. And then one at the bottom of her foot. Now sometimes those pegs with the bases that are actually terrain, sometimes you got to worry about whether or not that peg was supposed to keep her secured. But on this one, it is the bottom of her shoe here that does that, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna either have to put a little extra paint into these tiny holes. You can see those, they're right there. Or I will have to oh yeah, I put them in my airbrush booth. There's so many. I just took out one of each and it's still a ton. But no, I'm kind of antsy. I want to watch. I really want to watch Guardians of the Galaxy, but that's not until 9. So I'm gonna build stuff with you guys. So I got 4 hours of building. Let's see how many minis I can get through. And then what I'll do over the weekend is I'll prime them all, and then I'll have plenty to paint next week. Okay, so our body's pretty done. Same thing with this one, just like the last one I did. Just gonna cut off the front part here. And it looks like, no, these are her arms. I thought it was something she's carrying, but these are actually her arms. So that's her bicep and that's her forearm. This one does not have the bad mold line that the other one did, which is nice. Because when you get a good one, then you don't have to worry so much. Okay. And then it looks like she's got another piece of her cloth here. Don't know where it attaches. I'm going to look at the photo. It looks like it's right out of her... Looks like it's part of her scarf. So I'm guessing it attaches right, yeah, it attaches right there in the middle. So. Yeah, no, this is going to be a lot of fun, actually. I did pick up the Warriors of the Sun male and female, and I actually like both of them a lot. It's nice because I try to do the box art painting. Sometimes I vary a little bit, but I try to match the box art as best I can. Or not the box art, the art card. Because it pushes me. Hey Panda, thank you very much for the cheers. And the very random assortment of cheers. Panda's gonna fill that bits cup again. Alright. Yeah, because the painting pushes me. Because when you get into painting, if you paint a lot of miniatures like I do, you get into common techniques that you typically use. The problem with that is, while it helps you be fast, it doesn't help you learn. So that's why I'm trying to do that. Yeah, the rage face. I love the rage face. Yeah, and see there's another bubble right there. It shouldn't be too hard to fill, but that is something I have to worry about. You gotta do 100, Panda. I think you gotta do 100. Because the 50s are not weighted. And then No comes in with his 100 and then explodes the bits cup. So I think you got to do 100 to get a full effect. So I'm gonna fill out some of those holes with this Hobby Light filler. This tends to be better for bigger gaps, but I still haven't ordered the glue I need to fill the smaller ones. So work with what you've got. And I'm only worried about the ones on her knee. One's on her knee here. And the one on her cloak. So basically I'm just squishing it in there and then rubbing it off. There we go. And I'm doing it on a case-by-case basis, so if I see a hole, I plug it right away. instead of forgetting about it, because you don't. It's easy to remember something when you're looking straight at it, but if you say you get through the whole cleaning process, sorry, there we go. You get through the whole cleaning process, and you're all ready to paint or do the. Yeah, I know, right? Whoa. Yeah, you could just save them all, Panda. If you want to just save them all. Just come in a month or two and do a really huge tier. That's fine. Then you will be at the top. Alright. I was getting ready to glue it together, but it's the wrong time for that. So it looks like she's got two swords here. One is the... Nope, one sword. One is the scabbard, and one is the sword. So. Or scab, yeah. I said it right. Sheath, scabbard, same thing. I wanted to correct myself because the word in my head that I would typically use would be sheath. Alright. Trying to see where these tassels, I actually might have to look up some art for the actual, like, Kingdom Death photos of what the mini looks like. That's always a good thing to do, especially if you can find them. Well, that's a bummer. I was trying to get this clean, so I had a little piece of the mold at the top. Tried to clean it off and I broke it. So that's why I like doing these guides, so that the mistakes I make hopefully will save you. So this sword is actually too flimsy to do anything about. So don't try to do what I did. Grab your clippers instead and try to get to the top. So what I've got to do is kind of like fudge it. There we go. Basically what I did is, to kind of fix that, I cut some, but at such an angle as to simulate the point that I just lost by being an idiot. There. It's good enough. And I'm probably going to want to change that out, because it looks like, yeah, it's pretty bent. I mean, you can see that. So let me plug my heat gun back in. It's not in the same spot it usually is. Now, the nice thing with Kingdom Death resin, even though it is so fragile, when you use a hairdryer or a heat gun, it usually straightens itself out. Because the warping comes from storage more than anything, or cooling. When you actually make a resin cast, the resin, to harden, is a chemical reaction, which generates heat. And so when you take... Sorry, I'm still plugging this in. When that heat dissipates, you tend to get some warping, depending on how small the mini is. I tend to go pretty fast. Now but I have a lot of experience building them. So you can kind of gauge after a while how long it takes me. I'm trying to go through all of them and actually put build guides up there for you guys. Especially new people like yourself who just getting their first Kingdom Death minis. That's pretty intimidating sometimes. So I've got this Wagner heat gun. You can use a regular hairdryer for this. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here. It's off frame, but you can see it on the other camera right here. So I'm just using the heat gun a little bit. Oop. Okay. Some of these pieces are so small I was blowing them away. So I've got to be careful of that. But I can't exactly hold it in my hand, you know? Ah. Good. I keep trying. This thing's being a jerk. Alright. I'm gonna like sandwich it between the two bases here. So if it tries to blow, it hits something. And then it just went straight over the bases. Come on. There we go. There. That should do it. So now I'm going to gently move this where it's supposed to be. Or try to. The problem with this heat gun too is it the piece is so small, the heat dissipates right away. But I got a cup of water I can stick it in as well. I think I will. Can you give me a link, Mars? I was trying to look for it earlier, but I couldn't find it. Sorry, I'm still heating it. You can see it here now. Sandwiched between. And be careful if you're actually using a heat gun or a hairdryer, because, yeah, see what I mean? It's straightened up right away. All on its own. So now I'm going to stick it in the water. Because the water is really cold comparatively. And that should keep it nice and straight. Yep, there we go. Straighten the sword. So. Nice. Yeah, I'll have to order some of those. Thank you, Mars. I'll take a look at that later. Once I'm done with this build, before I go on to the next one. Okay, so I typically don't glue them to the base right away, but this one I will, because I think it's just going to give me a headache if I don't. So I've got my Insta set. This helps me set my super glue, and I'm going to spray some of that right onto the base. And then I'm going to use the super glue right on the bottom of her foot. Right there. This way she actually sets where I put her instantly. Yep, there we go. So there she is. And you can see that the base is still kind of wet from that Insta set. This only works with super glue, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, I actually looked at all the Relic Knights stuff, and I actually like their miniatures. I'm still bugged about that Rise of Moloch thing, though. It's like, I want to just not fill their Kickstarter out, the survey, because I don't want to give them money that I didn't plan on giving them. Like, if I knew that their Kickstarter would require you to buy their game, I wouldn't have given them $30 for the 2 King of Death models. Okay, so this one is going right back here. You can see. That's from her dashing forward. You can see it on the photo to the right over there. And it looks like her right hand has the sword. And it looks like the cloth goes out. So this is her left and this is her right. So with a lot of this, it's really good to dry fit it first so you know exactly where everything goes. So that's what I'm doing. Fortunately, this actually fits pretty easy. Yeah, I know, no. I got it, but I don't know what I did with it. I'm going to have to order that after the stream before I go to the movie. How many can you guys order? Like, is there a limit? So here, I'm holding that in. There we go. Alright, same thing on the other side. Gotta dry fit it to try to make sure. Because that way, if there are any mistakes, that you don't have to worry about the 2 per pledge. Okay, cool. So I'll probably do multiple pledges then. Because that's one that looks cool enough to where, from the source art anyway, cool enough to where I'll want to paint it more than once. Unless, of course, you guys want to pay me to paint yours. That'd be fun. Then I only have to order 2. Then I get the chance to paint yours. Okay, she's getting there. Huh, weird. She's got a cloak too. I'm gonna have to put that back here. This is gonna be interesting because you see how many things that she's got on. Wow. Actually, the one in the photo to the right does not have this cloak on. I actually kind of like it with the cloak. I typically don't like the cloaks on these KD models, but this one I do. There we go. Kind of like a butterfly almost. It's interesting. I like it. Okay, now I gotta decide where the other thing is, because there's actually 2 more tassels, so I can actually look that up. Give me a second. So I'll hold this up while I'm looking. I love how I order so much King of Death that I just have to type S. Oh, okay, they're in her hair. So I looked, and they're actually in her hair at the top. So I gotta kind of look and see where that goes. Ah, see, right in the back. There are 2 holes right here, right there, and right there, for where these go. And it looks like they planned it to where, yeah, one end has a hole, or one side has kind of like a peg hole hook right there. It's really hard to see, but it's there. So one tilts up and one tilts back. So I think this is the up one. Again, dry fitting. So this would be a lot easier if I had planned this properly. Yep, okay. Well, it goes there. But I'm going to have to use tweezers to get it in. Okay. Oh, whoops. Nope. I got it wrong. Yep, I really got it wrong. It's this one. I looked at the art again and it's like, nope, this one tilts down. It's always tricky. Almost done though. It's just this one and then the her sword and scabbard. I gotta hold it here for a minute. I'm actually gonna... There's plenty of glue on her scalp, so I'm actually gonna dip this in some Instaset, just the end of it. Let's see if I got any more on this thing. Yep, plenty. Because then it should... If I don't keep dropping stuff, it should instantly set. It's like they planned it in the name. Nope, I didn't put enough on. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay, the same on the other side. Put the glue on first. And then make sure it's tilted up. There's like a leak in this bottle, that's why I'm able to kind of like do this. So hopefully yours doesn't leak if you get a bottle of this. Because every time I take a spray, it's like half of it actually comes out and goes on the thing. There we go. Cool. There she is. I'm gonna do a little more glue. I added a little too much, so I'm gonna take some off with this. Or at least move it around. Should be a nice strong bond though, which is nice. Okay. Now our sword. This miniature is actually going to be a pain to paint because it's got so much detail. It's kind of all over the place. So I broke my rule. I just looked. I did not dry fit, but it didn't look like there was anything in the way at all. And I looked at each piece, see if anything would obstruct the other piece, and it didn't seem to be anything. So it's fine. Do the same on the other side. But I'll probably actually try dry fitting this one. Yep. The reason I'm doing that is there's no distinct peg hole on this one. There was on the other side. Yep. Which is a good call there too, because there we go. Nope. It's a problem again. Sorry. Because there's no peg hole, or at least there didn't end up being one. The peg on this arm is useless, so I gotta cut it off. Downside of a non-sharp knife. I'm just turning it around, trying to get a good angle where I can grab it without hurting it. There we go. Now I'm going to put the glue on the wrist this time instead of on the hand. There we go. Yeah, if you type !glue, it should bring you an Amazon link for the glue I use, and it should have another link on that same page for the Instaset. They tend to be, I think they sell them in a set as well, with glue and Instaset together. Same problem I've been having this whole time. Gotta hold it in place. There we go. All done. This looks pretty good. Nope, not quite done. A little more glue and I will do some Instaset here in a second. There's the glue. Sprayed a little too much, but that's the nice thing about the Instaset as well, is it takes a while to dry. So, oh, come on. There we go. Come on now. There we go. Much better. The glue is gap filling. Yes. There she is. All done. She was actually a lot of fun to put together. I can't wait to do the other one now.